I love these fabulous children's astrology books by Donna McGarry. They're delightful, whimsical, and entertaining. Visit zodiacs.com.
Hello, fabulous friends and fans. Welcome to your horoscope for the week of September 7th, 2014. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. The week will start with a full moon taking place in the sign of Pisces. Now, I'm very excited about this full moon because it speaks in supreme harmony with Saturn, speaks with Pluto as well. And so this particular full moon is not only going to represent illuminations, which are normally associated with full moons, but there's also going to be an element at play here that has to do with the illuminations that do come, the moment of truth that does come, what does become really obvious, what maybe emotionally we haven't wanted to admit to ourselves, which is usually what full moons are about. It's about seeing in the clear light of the moon. It's about admitting to ourselves honestly what our emotional truth is. What is it that we really feel about a given situation? Well, this time, because of the support by Saturn, by Pluto, it does suggest to me that it really is not only the truth necessarily setting us free, but the truth leading to empowering changes, the truth leading to stability, the truth leading to a deeper understanding of what action needs to be taken if true change is going to be experienced, and then the willingness to actually take that action. That is what I'm seeing at play here with this full moon. I think it's going to be wonderfully empowering for a lot of people out there. What's also taking place this week is Mercury. Mercury will be active in the sky. We'll be speaking with the long-term conversations that has been taking place between Pluto and Uranus. So what Mercury is going to do is a type of conversation that astrologers call a T-square. Will stand across the sky from Uranus later in the week. In the earlier part of the week, we'll be speaking with Pluto. So what's also happening in the middle of all this is Mercury will be speaking in harmony with Jupiter. I look at this playing out, and it does suggest to me that next week, as we start next week, Mercury will step into shadow, so what we call shadow. And I've spoken about this before, especially in the All About Mercury video. I will be speaking about this again as well. Essentially, Mercury will step into, at the beginning of next week, step onto the path that he will, come October, go over again. Retrograde back over, and then again go direct over as well into November. So this week, while Mercury doesn't officially go into shadow, I do think the fact that Mercury is so active is going to allow us, and active under a full moon that is going to allow us to put some things in the past, get the clarity we need, find closures where we need it, have conversations that allow these closures to happen as well. And ultimately is part of preparing us for the upcoming shadow period. When Mercury does retrograde, Mercury will not retrograde all the way back to this configuration. However, I do think, I'm one of those people who really does think that Mercury standing across the sky from Uranus is actually going to be one of those really defining moments of the upcoming Mercury retrograde for a lot of people out there. And so I've spoken about this in the monthly horoscopes for some of the signs out there, where I thought that this was really sort of a dominant theme, or one important theme to focus on for the month ahead. However, I do, and I would invite you to really pay attention what happens right around the weekend, the upcoming weekend, the end of this week. And of course, as we head into next week as well, I'll be here to talk about that then, because I think that really is going to show us where it is that we need more clarity, more information. We need the lights to come on. We need to understand more clearly. So the universe is certainly going to help us, put us on that path to that process, for some of us more dramatically than others, but certainly will put us on that process for the upcoming lessons of the Mercury retrograde. What's also happening in the middle of the week is Venus will be standing across the sky from Neptune, and the sun will be speaking in harmony with Saturn. And this is actually happening the same day that Mercury is speaking in harmony with Jupiter. And I just find this this configuration fascinating, because Venus standing across from Neptune is it can be disappointments, in all honesty, and it can especially be disappointments where it comes to love, where it comes to romance. Even sometimes it can be financial losses as well, depending on where Venus and Neptune are playing out in your chart. But more than anything, when I look at this particular configuration, it does have to do with really grounding expectations. And thankfully, because Saturn is speaking with the Sun at the same time, because Mercury is speaking with Jupiter at the same time, it looks like just talking about it, the right conversation at the right time, the right understanding at the right time, really helps restore not only perspective, but also a strong sense of where you are and where you're going. And also an appreciation of the deeper, more important lesson that's being asked to play out here. And so one example of how this configuration might play out is with how this could be if you are somebody who has been set up with somebody else, if you're open to love and a friend connects you with somebody or somebody else you know connects you to somebody, sort of the very first impression might be a little mixed. However, as soon as you start talking and as soon as the other person starts talking, your opinion might change, and dramatically so. I am very much of the belief that, and I have seen this happen with me, certainly had this experience, I've known countless others who've had this experience as well, where you meet somebody and as they start talking, they become more and more beautiful in front of you. And that really is a situation that I think a lot of people are going to be experiencing, whether it's in a romantic context or otherwise. It really is the universe trying to show us that substance is really what matters most. Substance is what brings the greatest enthusiasm, the greatest light, the greatest joyous moments as well. Finally, at the end of the week, we have Mars changing signs. Mars is going to move into the sign of Sagittarius. I'm really excited about this for a lot of people out there, especially the fire signs. They're about to feel very energized. But Mars moving into the sign of Sagittarius, Mars is ruling planet or traditional ruling planet of Scorpio. So leaving one of its traditional rulerships, stepping into a fire sign, really. And Mars also rules fire sign Aries, so there is a certain affinity there. And I look at this, and there are a few different things I see playing out here. One thing that I love about this configuration is, in the weeks to come, Mars will speak in harmony with Jupiter, will speak in harmony with Uranus as well. And I think that this is going to be a very hopeful and optimistic time, an energized time as well, where a lot of people are getting clarity into what really matters to them in their life. Now, Mars moving into Sagittarius can make some people a little self-righteous. So you just want to watch that within yourself. Ultimately, the Sag energy, the higher spiritual understanding of Sag energy, is to go on an exploration, to really choose our adventure, to decide what it is that's going to bring our life enthusiasm and to pursue it. And a part of the adventure also is to uncover what is true for us, something that is very self-decided, if you will, to go out into the world, have tons of experiences, come back not only knowing yourself better, but also knowing what is true and right for you, what beliefs are going to be your guiding principles in life. This energy also has to do with just interacting with more of the world as well. And so we should see more of that conversation taking place on the wider stage as well. But as I said, I really like the fact that Mars moving into Sagittarius can, in all honesty, it can bring, like I said, self-righteousness. It can bring an energy of zealousness as well. However, given that there is this supportive harmony taking place with Uranus, with Jupiter, that is coming up, Mars will slowly be building towards us in the weeks to come. This does, to me, suggest actions that take place in order to move us collectively into the future with an appreciation of diversity, with appreciation of varying perspective, varying views, but also moving us solidly forward in a direction of, and I don't throw this word around lightly, but it's almost as if this configuration does speak to an understanding that, look, there are lots of people who have lots of different beliefs, but let's find a way to get along in all of this. And some really positive developments we may see a little bit further down the road, and I will be here to talk about it, but in the weeks to come, we may see some really positive developments take place on the world stage where there has been conflict. There does seem to come as a result some resolution as well. So I do want to just take this moment. Again, I don't know if I did as we started this. I don't think I did thank Icaro Suites. Obviously, I'm not in my studio right now. I was having some technical issues. So I'm on a balcony in the middle of the night in Icaro Suites in Cancun, Mexico. And longtime friends and fans know this is a place very near and dear to my heart, this city, but also this particular hotel as well. And so I'm sorry about that. It's not as polished as usual. And I don't know if you can hear, I certainly can hear lots of adventurous things happening in the background in the city. However, it was just so important to me to get this information to you and to get it to you on time, because I know that just to be some small part of your sacred journey, it means so much to me. And so at the very least, I thought, you know what, just turn on the camera and do it the way I used to do it back in the day. Longtime friends and fans may remember back in the day when I would literally just stand in front of a bookcase or sit in front of my desk and deliver horoscopes. And I appreciate so much to have this moment with you. I also want to send a very, very special happy birthday to my number one fan and to possibly the most beautiful woman that ever existed, and that is my mother. She is my PR person. She's near and dear to my heart. If you've ever had the pleasure of knowing her, you know that she talks about me constantly and probably gave you my business card. And I just want to say how blessed I know I am to have such an incredible support system, and especially in the form of a mom who just always wanted the best for me and really has been part of me being just me, really allowing me to be me really is the greatest gift. So I love you, Mommy. Happy, happy birthday. Thank you so much for all your interactions out there. I'm truly so grateful for it. Please keep them coming. Keep your questions coming as well. I have this whole block of time coming up where I'm just going to focus on creating videos, answering your questions around astrology, the technical questions that you have around astrology. So please do keep those interactions coming. I love them so much. I love interacting with you guys on social media. If you would like me to have a look at your unique birth chart, you want me to look at whatever it is that's happening in your life right now, gain greater insight, please do consider personalized horoscopes. Having said that, to just have this moment with you, to just be able to share this energy with you truly is everything. And I thank you so much for allowing me to be some small part of your sacred journey. Thank you. So how all this speaks to you and your sign is coming up right now. Hello, fabulous Aries. Your ruling planet will be changing signs this week, and wherever your ruling planet goes, so goes you. So goes your focus, so goes your understanding, so goes your energy as well. And so as Mars moves into the supremely harmonious position for you, I do think that you are going to feel like the best of you is able to come forward, especially as you're finishing off this week. Just before we get you there, though, Mercury is going to be in your opposite sign, speaking with Uranus in your sign and being pretty active as well also. And so it suggests to me lots of conversations taking place around love, around partnership, around who you want to align yourself with, who you want to make agreements with. And this can be business related. That may be the case, especially with Mercury speaking with Pluto right at the very top of your chart. However, Mercury speaking with Uranus in your sign, moving through your opposite sign, speaking with Jupiter in the part of the sky that has to do with dating and romance and the feelings of love. It all suggests a time when romance is what you are going to want and you're willing to overcome your own resistance, your own fears, any blocks that might be in the way of you actually embracing the path necessary to experience greater love than you've known before. Hello, fabulous Taurus. Well, in the middle of the week, Venus will stand across the sky from Neptune, your ruling planet, standing across from Neptune, and Venus moving through the part of the sky for you that has to do with romance and love and the feelings of love. And when I look at this particular configuration, I spoke in the introduction of how this can speak to some initial or sort of like superficial rather disappointments that very quickly are able to transform thanks to all the other energies that are playing out at the same time. And so those of you who are open to meeting somebody new, just keep that in mind. Don't let it be about sort of your own expectations, because really people are so much richer and so much more than what it is that we believe them to be, or any kind of fantasy that we may create for them. But also what I really like about this is with that reality check comes clarity, empowerment, comes self-understanding. If you're in an established bond, this as well can very well play out, where you realize how maybe you were looking at somebody based on the potential you saw in them instead of who they actually are. And if you look at who they actually are, you might actually be really empowered by that personally, but also the bond can actually grow a lot stronger. Allow yourself to see others for who they honestly are, and you're going to find yourself moving towards greater love, whether it's the love you have now or a new love, and of course, a greater love than you've known before. Hello, fabulous Gemini. This week, your ruling planet, Mercury, will be particularly active, speaking with this configuration with with Pluto, with Uranus in square, setting up a T-square, as I spoke about in the introduction, also speaking in harmony with Jupiter. I look at this particular activity around your ruling planet, particularly given that Mercury is in the part of the sky for you that has to do with romance, that has to do with love and the feelings of love. So lots of signs out there, at least the first 3 signs of the zodiac, are experiencing their ruling planets in parts of the sky that have to do with love. And given that this is likely to be a larger theme that's playing out for a lot of us, clearly, not only the first 3 signs, but the fact that in the middle of the week, Venus will stand across from Neptune. A lot of us are going to be having lessons in love, grounding love, making it more secure. This does look like a time when you may be reaching out to others, you may be having communications, you might not be sure necessarily how you feel about them. They may raise tension, they may raise feelings of uncertainty, especially where it comes to friendships as well. And so when I look at this particular configuration, one possible scenario is a friend brings you some information about somebody that you care about or somebody that you're dating. It could be also that you are getting a different perspective of somebody that you care about or somebody that you're dating in light of your friendships or in light of their interactions within your friendship circles as well. And also when I look at this, if you're in a more established bond, this is also you sort of saying, okay, where is it that I need to carve out time to be with the people that I consider my friends? Where is my space going to be so that this bond can actually continue to be made stronger and stronger? Some of you may experience this, I have to be honest, some of you may experience this in the context of children, where it is that you have kids and you know you have that responsibility and you're grateful to have your kids, but you know and you're starting to see that you actually need some space for yourself if you're going to recharge and be an even better parent to them. So these are the larger lessons coming up. Ultimately, it does come down to you talking, which it comes down to that a lot, actually, for your sign. Talking, sharing, and being willing to listen as well are all going to be great tools that help you move towards a greater love than you have known before. Hello, fabulous Cancer. Well, this week there is a full moon taking place in the part of the sky for you that has to do with stepping out in front of more of the world. I would have spoken about this in the monthly horoscopes for this month, so you may want to have a look at that again, because this is going to play an important part. Now, new moons and full moons tend to be important times for all of us, but especially for you, tends to be especially heightened time for you because the moon is sort of your representative in the sky. Given that this particular full moon is happening in the part of the sky that has to do with your larger values and has to do with, as I said, stepping out in front of more of the world, is speaking with Pluto in your opposite sign and Saturn in the part of the sky that has to do with love and romance, it does look like decision time, really is what it comes down to. This is choice time, decision time. You're admitting the truth to yourself about where you are in love, where you are responsible for where you are and what needs to change within you, but also looking at the other person as well. What is it that needs to change within that other person? But more than that, what I'm really seeing is a moment of honesty where you say to yourself, is this person in alignment with what I believe about life, where I believe I'm going, what it is that I'm trying to create? How is it that I have felt up until this moment? And is this somebody that I can actually see myself achieving some of those bigger visions and goals and things that I have for my life? But also there's a deeper element here that has to do with, how did I get here? How did I get in this particular situation? Now, for those of you in a strong established bond where you feel a strong sense of commitment, ultimately your answers are going to help you to deepen that bond, because the moon is speaking in supreme harmony with Saturn and speaking in harmony with Pluto as well. However, those of you who've been on a bit of shaky ground maybe, or maybe are just open to love as well, it's going to become a much more contemplative moment, if you will. It's going to become a moment where you are asked to look at yourself a little bit more deeply. You are asked to consider really your motivations for keeping this bond going. And from there, you'll be able to make a choice really that is well rooted in a strong sense of self-respect and a strong sense of self-value as well. Hello, fabulous Leo. This week we have the sun, your ruling planet, luminary rather, your ruling planet speaking in harmony with Saturn. And what we also have happening at the same time in the middle of the week is Mercury speaking in harmony with Jupiter in your sign as well. So I put these together and it suggests to me a time when you are understanding what it is that you need to do to create a greater sense of stability and to create greater opportunity for yourself as well. There's an element here of having conversations, and for some of you this is going to be right place at the right time with the right person, running into somebody, possibly a neighbor, somebody you know, somebody you've seen around, whether it's your neighborhood or as you go about running your errands, and just having a conversation with them that really helps you to ground yourself. Now, I know that some people might not necessarily understand, what does that mean, ground yourself? Well, what it means is feel a sense of stability within yourself, to feel like you understand what really matters and you're taking action from that place, knowing that you're going to do your best and surrender the rest and move yourself in that direction. Ultimately, that's what it is to be grounded. It is to not feel like parts of you are getting away, or not feel like confusion, but rather to feel a sense of self-worth, self-knowledge enough to guide your actions from that place. There's a sense of inner stability so that no matter what happens in the external world, you know that you are stable within yourself. That is the opportunity this week. And the opportunity is just going to come about. It'll likely come just out of nowhere, but it'll be exactly what you need at exactly the right moment, at exactly the right time. Be open to interacting with as many people as possible. Be open to being busy as well. And you'll find that the universe steps in and gives you just the boost of clarity and stability and an action plan that you very much need. Hello, fabulous Virgo. This week, your ruling planet will be in the sign immediately after yours. And speaking with Uranus, speaking with Pluto, speaking with Jupiter as well. And I put these together, and it does look like a week where finances may be the cause of some insecurity. However, for all that, it does look like there are angels working very much on your behalf to make greater prosperity possible for you. And so your job, one of your larger jobs, is going to be to trust them. I do see that this is likely to play out in terms of whether it's some insecurity that is directed around some, if you will, games of chance that may have been played or are playing out. And this is thanks to Pluto in the part of the sky for you that has to do with gambling, really. So you are going to want to watch that. Make sure you're not spending more than you actually have to give. Like I'm very much of the belief that trust your circumstances above and beyond anything. Trust your circumstances, because it is your circumstances ultimately that are going to lead you to exactly the experiences that you need, and your circumstances change in light of the different types of experiences you need. So, especially when you are making a bet on whatever it is, make sure it's something that really is okay if you don't get it back and is actually worth the bet that you're placing. And this is true whether it's your time, whether it's your money, whether it's your resources, whether it's your knowledge, whether it's your ideas. All of these are factors to consider when you decide to take a risk or take a chance of any sort of kind. So that's going to be part of the learning for you this week, is how much do I really have to give to actually take this gamble, whether it's personal or professional or monetary or otherwise. There's also another element at play here as I look at the sky for you that has to do with the work environment as well. And so just be open to considering how the work environment might be speaking to you, and especially financially as well. Are you one of those people who believes that it has to be pay hour by hour, or can it be project by project? So this is going to be one of the larger considerations or opportunities that might come up for you. And I say this because you've got the ruling planet of the part of the sky that has to do with work is currently in a part of the sky that has to do with sort of money that you get based on commissions or grants or loans or bursaries, sort of large payments that you get in one shot, and also passive income as well. So this sky is inviting you to rethink how you understand your financial life, your financial picture. But at the end of the day, Jupiter's in the sign just before yours, speaking in harmony with your ruling planet just after yours. This tells me financially, you're going to be just all right. You're going to be great, actually. And chances are that you get the right news just at the right time that helps you feel a sense of stability and helps you feel a sense of strength as well in your finances and in many other areas of life. Hello, fabulous Libra. This week, your ruling planet, Venus, will be standing across the sky from Neptune. And you add to this the element that Mercury, moving through your sign, will be very active. We'll be speaking with Uranus, speaking with Pluto, speaking with Jupiter as well. And I look at this, I put this together, and it does suggest to me that there is going to be an importance on you focusing in on yourself. Focusing in on what it is that really matters to you and what it is that is true for you. And that necessarily also means what it is that isn't true for you as well, because that's what Venus standing across from Neptune asks us to look at. What is it that's true? What is it that isn't true also? And most of the time we figure out what's true for us based on what isn't true for us, or sometimes we do. But Mercury moving through your sign is speaking with Uranus, and Uranus has to do with what is true for you, not what isn't true for you, which is what Venus and Neptune are saying. So I look at this configuration playing out, speaking to you in such a personal way, and it looks like a time when you are talking about things that really matter to you. You're getting some powerful insights that really matter to you as well. And as I spoke of in the intro, that I do believe that this week is going to set us up to experience changes, experience opportunities, experience clarity that we need to make the most of the shadow period that's coming up starting at the beginning of next week and the retrograde period that's happening in October. Well, this becomes like 10 times true for you, because what we have playing out is Mercury moving through your sign for much of the retrograde period. So elements of who you understand yourself to be, elements of your identity, elements of what you need to feel yourself as strong, to feel yourself as capable, all of that is playing out this week for you. And so I would say to you, just talk talk as much as possible. Talk when it doesn't feel right. Talk when you don't want to talk about it. Talk when you don't like the information being conveyed, and figure out your feelings from that space. Friendships especially are going to end up being so incredibly important as part of this process, and incredibly supportive as well. And it is in the space of talking that you're going to get the clarity you need, but not only that, you'll get the boost of optimism you need to understand what your pathway forward is going to be. Hello, fabulous Scorpio. Well, we've got this full moon taking place in a part of the sky that has to do with love, the feelings of love. I would have spoken about this in your monthly horoscope, so you might want to have a look at that again, especially the love-focused horoscope. And given that this particular full moon is speaking in harmony with Saturn in your sign, suggests to me that you are really making some important understandings and important decisions where it comes to love as well. What is it that really matters to you? What is it that you really want? Where is it that you really believe you're going now and for the foreseeable future? Where it is that you feel you're getting that bond is going to become that much stronger now. Where you feel that you're not so sure that you're getting that, you are going to gain the clarity you need to decide how you're going to move forward. Now, for those of you in a well-established bond, I do think for some of you out there, now, whether you're a well-established bond or not, there's an element here that may play itself out in the realm of children. Are you really ready for children? Is that something you want? There's a lot of fertile energy in the air. And so you want to be mindful of that, of course. And so one way that fertility energy can manifest is, of course, through children. But another way is, of course, your projects as well, the projects you desire to give birth to. All of that is going to be highlighted right now in light of you really connecting with ultimately what matters to you most and what stability you want to move yourself towards. So there's some really grown-up decisions happening in love, in creativity, and with your children as well. And ultimately, these grown-up decisions are going to move you in a direction of greater self-respect as well. Hello, fabulous Sagittarius. Well, this week we've got your ruling planet, Jupiter, speaking in harmony with Mercury. And Mercury right now in a part of the sky for you that has to do with friendships. And I look at this and it suggests to me that you really are going to be connecting with people where it matters to you most. You're going to be having a lot of philosophical conversations, which should feel just right to you at a level of your spirit. But also, there's an element here of you finding kindred spirits as well. And so when I see a sky like this, I think be social, be active, get out there, meet people, be open to connecting with other people as well, because all of it is going to come together really nicely for you, helping you to have the right introductions at the right time that are going to be part of opening up a deeper understanding of what you really hope for, what you really wish for, what is it that really matters to you as well. And so what I'm seeing is lots of time or opportunities rather being spent connecting with new people, connecting with people maybe you haven't in a while as well, and having conversations that really help you understand who you really are, what really matters to you, really fuels a sense of self-knowledge, but also awakens a sense of your next adventure. Now, while that is happening, we've got this full moon happening in the part of the sky that has to do with home. So your focus necessarily is going to be drawn towards home. And those of you who are looking to change homes, buy, sell, get a new roommate, you could find yourself making really great choices right now, really great decisions right now that contribute to greater sense of stability for a very long time to come. Hello, fabulous Capricorn. This particular full moon that's happening as the week starts is speaking in harmony with your ruling planet, is speaking in harmony with Pluto in your sign as well. And I look at this playing out and it just suggests to me that you are really not necessarily just putting yourself out there, but given that this full moon has to do with talking, it has to do with interacting with more people, it has to do with being busy. It's busyness with a purpose. It's not without a purpose. It's busyness with an intention to gain a sense of understanding, to gain a sense of clarity, busyness with the intention to actually connect with people who are going to help you move in a direction that truly matters to you most, matters on a level of heart and matters on a level of spirit as well. And so I absolutely I absolutely see you moving in that direction. And I also see you making some really important choices and some really important decisions as well. Decisions around the people who actually support you to get where it is that you want to go. Decisions around an understanding of the larger picture of what it is actually that you are desiring to create here. But also, I am seeing an understanding here as you're talking to other people of actually feeling yourself move in a direction that you like very much. I actually see you feeling that you're moving in a direction that's going to help the big picture of your life, that's going to help you accomplish things that matter to you, that's going to help you to feel a sense of self-respect, a sense of self-power as well. And all of that should fit so nicely for the direction in which you believe that you want your life to go. And that's the thing with your sign that I absolutely love. There's a deep understanding that you can have anything that you're willing to work for. That is the deeper spiritual understanding taking place. And so be open to that, because that is what the universe is going to try to show you, largely through actual evidence that you are moving in a direction that you like very much. Hello, fabulous Aquarius. This week we have your ruling planet standing across the sky from Mercury, and your ruling planet Uranus has been called the higher octave of Mercury as well. And when I look at this, this says to me new information that makes all the difference, that just changes everything, that frees you from the past, that helps you to move into the new, that helps you be brave, helps you to be bold as well. You add in the element that we've got this full moon happening in the part of the sky that has to do with self-worth. And finances as well. Yeah, so there may be some financial advancement that brings a lot of stability, especially where it comes to your career. But ultimately, that's about helping you to feel good about yourself and helping you to have a higher sense of value. So that is playing out. And at the same time, with this particular configuration playing out, it tells me that there's an element to all the events now that are very personal, that are about redefining yourself, understanding who you really are, how you ended where you are, or rather what it is, what decisions you've made that brought you to this place now, and where it is now that you want to go, and having that absolute clarity. And for some of you, it's going to be quite a dramatic, in a flash type of clarity that does visit you now. I do think that a very small percentage of you, I'm going to be honest, a very small percentage of you, there may be a connection here where it has to do with love, because Mercury is the ruling planet of the part of the sky that has to do with romance for you. But ultimately, because of Mercury's position, I mean, to me, this just suggests that you get some insights into who you really are, and if whether it's the love you have or the love that you had, it fits into this or it doesn't. And because of the element of clarity here, and because Mercury is speaking in such supreme harmony with Jupiter, it looks like you're truly coming to understand. And also because the element that's a full moon, you're really coming to understand what it is that you're going for in love with a greater clarity, a greater appreciation, and a greater depth as well. Some of you may end up actually connecting with somebody new, and it looks like a really strong mind-based connection, value-based connection. It's the type of thing where you sit down with somebody and all of a sudden you realize, oh, wow, yeah, I'm really into that writer too. I'm really into this spiritual thinker as well. I really like that person's ideas as well. And it just really opens up a world of commonality to you. So some of you out there may experience it like this, but I do think that for the large percentage of you, the overriding theme that I see playing out this week is a deeper understanding of who you really are, what it is that you are really going for, and what values it is that are really going to guide you forward. If love plays into that, that's awesome. But if it isn't love, then it's going to be issues of self-worth that play an important part of that learning as well. Hello, fabulous Pisces. This week we have your ruling planet standing across the sky from Venus, Venus in your opposite sign. This is so important, and you add to this the fact that you've got a full moon in your sign. So I would have spoken about this in the monthly horoscopes without a doubt, because it really is such an important time for you in love, yes, but personally as well, where you're looking at what really matters to you, what you're really going for in life. And you're just looking at the truth of a situation very near and dear to your heart, without illusion. That's the real key here, without illusion. And that's also the tricky part here as well. When Venus stands across from Neptune, as I said in the introduction, sometimes this can speak to disappointments where it comes to love. And yet, with all that, there is the promise of greater stability. There is the promise of greater understanding to be taking place within the two of you. And that's largely thanks to Mercury being so active in the sky at the same time. That's largely thanks to the Sun speaking in supreme harmony with Saturn, the Sun moving through your opposite sign. So even if it seems like elements in love are disappointing, someone turns out to be not who you'd hoped that they would be, don't let that take too much of your energy. Allow yourself to be empowered by the knowledge you gain, by the insights into yourself you get, but also by who it is that this person actually is. Because people are so much more than the hopes that we imbue in them. People are so much more complex and have so much more beauty than the superficial that we may ascribe. Be open to love wherever it is that it wants to find you, but also be open to the truth of your own motivations, the truth of your own understanding as to who you are and what it is that really matters to you. As you allow that process to unfold, you're going to find yourself not only connecting to a very deep sense of who you really are, but also having the clarity to make some powerful changes that move you to a stronger sense of self-possession and also a greater love than you've known before. Well, thank you so much to all signs out there. It'll be a great week. Enjoy.